Hello everyone, nice to meet you. My name is Shay Fuchs, and I'm going to talk to you about active learning, a redesign that we did for one of our big math courses in large classes. So we talk about courses with 400, 500 students divided into sections of 100, 150. But even if you don't teach large classes, I believe some of the stuff that I will be going over is going to be relevant to you. So again, I'm going to start with a little bit about myself. So I completed my PhD in mathematics in 2008. I currently work as an associate professor at the University of Toronto, Mississauga, which is one of the campuses. I'm a teaching stream professor, which means my work is more focused on teaching and pedagogy and curriculum design and so on. And what I do is I coordinate large courses. I am involved with curriculum design, as I mentioned, and I'm also active with other mathematical education projects within my school and outside. A little bit about my institution. So UTM, University of Toronto, Mississauga. So this is a part of the University of Toronto, which is Canada's largest university. This is one of the two suburban campuses. This is the one in Mississauga, where I'm based, and there's another one in Scarborough. And about our own campus, just to give you an idea of what is the size, we have about 15,000 undergraduate students, 900 graduate students, 18 academic units, 180 programs. So this is just sort of like an intro about myself and about my institution. And let me tell a little bit about our Calculus for Life Sciences courses and the problems that prompted this change that we have decided to implement a few years ago. So again, just to give you an idea, we typically have about 400 to 500 students in this course every year, divided into multiple lecture sections of about 120, 140 students in each. And also students meet with a TA, a teaching assistant, in smaller groups every week for 1 hour. So we also have about 12 to 15 tutorial sections. The teaching staff will include, other than myself, I'm the coordinator of the course. I do teach one of the sections normally, but we have 3-4 instructors in total and about 6 to 8 teaching assistants. And up to 2018, we were teaching this course in a very traditional way. So lectures, students taking notes, answering questions, sometimes asking questions, and so on. But the results were very disappointing. We had high DFW rates. Students were not very engaged. The attendance was sometimes low. Sometimes only half of the students will show up. And maybe the most damning statistics is this pie diagram, which shows that out of the students who started these courses at the beginning of the year, we had about 30 to 40% dropping, depending on the year. And from those who stayed, we had about 30 to 15% failing the course. So overall, only about half of the students managed to finish the course with a passing mark, which is very low. And these are good students. These are life science students. Many of them want to go to med school. Many of them, all of them come with really good marks from high school. They're doing well in their other courses. So that really should not be the case. And so starting 2018, September 2018, we completely redesigned the course and implemented an active learning pedagogy in this course. So again, I don't have too much time, so I'll tell you a little bit about the new design, sort of like the big picture, using this fancy diagram with the toasts. Some people thought this means we're slowly burning the students. Okay, so that's the big idea. Students prepare to class in advance. They read the material, possibly watch videos, and then complete a pre-class assessment on the reading that they do before coming to class. Then in class, instead of giving a long lecture, we do a quick review, do some activities, sometimes do a quick review of the topic. So very short lectures, if they do occur, like 10 to 15 minutes in an hour, and group work and discussion about the activities. And then post-class, we have the more traditional stuff. They get homework. They need to solve more complex problems, multi-step problems, and so on. And so we were looking for tools that we can use to implement this and facilitate in a big class, something like activities and group work and so on. And so we have decided, after checking a bunch of options, to use iClicker Cloud to use like quick review questions at the beginning of class to refresh your memory and sort of like start up on thinking about new concepts and possibly misconceptions. And then for the pre and the post-class work, we decided to use Achieve, which is something new that we implemented only this past year because I was not very happy with the previous system that we had. So maybe just to give you an example, do you wanna work on a math question? just a quick one. It's an interesting one. It's not an easy one, but it's very basic in terms of prior knowledge. So this is a question from Lewis Carroll, who wrote Alice in Wonderland. And here it is, just so that, I mean, if you don't want to really think about it, you can just guess. Here's a nice question for you. Maybe take a minute and try to see if you can find the correct answer here. So I'm going to close the poll in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Just click something if you're not sure. Okay. And then I can look at the results before showing to the students, but then I normally do show the students, and we see that this is a great question because there's no consensus about the answer, right? And this is something that does happen. I mean, if you have good questions, that does happen when you have students wrestling with new concepts and so on. So normally what I will do, we'll have a little discussion, we'll hear from some of the students their answers, and then sometimes I will give them maybe another couple of minutes to maybe talk to a partner and vote again, and we'll see if there is an improvement. So this is an example of how we use iClickers. And there are many advantages. Jeff talked about that a little bit. You get a whole class feedback from all students really quickly, not just from a few. The setup is very easy in terms of the logistics, and it's easy to work with multiple sections and gather all the data. Identify common misconceptions. It's great for think, pair, share that we're using through these questions. It works on all devices. They can use laptops and cell phones and so on. Easy grading, several question types as we have seen, and there is no need to upload questions, so the questions work with the existing presentation that you have, whatever PowerPoint or something else. And then I believe I have 1 minute left. In terms of pre and post class work, we use Achieve. Here you can see a screenshot of a customized question from Achieve. You can build questions, several types. They can be conceptual, they can use graphs, they can use animation and so on. And this is a screenshot from the textbook that we're using, which is an interactive textbook. So students can play with the diagram, they can, take notes, they can click on stuff that will take them to a different part and so on. And the only slide that is left is we did a study about the evidence of the effectiveness of this new design. And I don't have time to talk about that, but if you want to ask a question about the study that we did, I'm happy to talk about that more.